It's midway through the season, so it's time to get out that red pen and give the drivers a marking for their performances this year. Now, I know we're just over the midway point in the season, but with this little break, I thought it was a good time to do the mid-season report. Now, before you get too carried away, traditionally, I try to be a little bit harsher on people at this mid-season report time, so it gives them a chance to reflect on the start of the year and improve towards the end of the year and improve their results. So don't get too carried away if I've been a bit harsh on your favourite driver. If they improve, you know, of course they're all going to pay attention to what I've said and improve over the rest of the year and get a better score towards the end of the year. Now, most rounds I would go through in teams championship position, but what I thought this time I would do is run through in reverse order of how the teams started the championship this year, so how they should have been in the pit lane all year, to probably flag at how well some teams are doing compared to how they were expected to do, I suppose, and how badly some teams are doing. Because, some have made a fair jump around in the field. So, kicking it off, once again, no surprises here, is the Blanchard Racing team, starting 12th in the Teams Championship and now currently 12th in the Teams Championship. Aaron Love, first off, 23rd in the championship, 43% of the team's points. It is definitely hard to judge how he's going. A rookie in the worst team, last out of all of the full-time drivers in the field. His best result was only a 12th at the Grand Prix. Courtney's had some flashes during the year. We haven't really seen that pace from Aaron Love that we saw in his campaign last year in Super 2, where he had those like real flashes of speed, even if there wasn't a result. How long a lead are they going to give him? Are they going to continue accepting a budget without any results for this team? James Courtney, he's 18th in the championship, 57% of the team's points. 18th in the championship, you might be saying, well, that's crap, James. Need to lift your game. But he did only finish 17th last year while he was with Tickford. He's had a couple of top 10 finishes and, of course, that mega top 10 shootout in Townsville. That shows he still has, some speed in there. He's just not consistent enough. He's a former champion. We do expect more. Overall, I'm giving the team a D for this point in the championship. Aaron Love gets a C, while James Courtney gets a C+. All of them need to improve in the second half of the year. Next up, we have Matt Stone Racing, who started 10th in the team's championship, and now they are currently 6th. Cam Hill, 16th in the championship, 45% of the team's points. He is having more a year this year than I was expecting from him last year. So is he a year behind schedule? He has made a big step up this year. He is showing a lot more speed, getting himself, kind of into that top 10 and looking really good. We just need him consistently with, those flashes, rather than being flashes of brilliance, need to consistently be up there closer with his teammate Nick Percat, who is 9th in the championship with 55% of the points overall. Nick, he's returned back to that BJR spec Nick that we all loved heading into Waukesha Andretti United and expected him to kind of challenge Chaz where he didn't. He's back to that. Punching above his weight, 11 top 10 finishes out of a possible 16 so far this year. That's the consistency we expect from Nick Percat. And of course, that highlight winning that race at Albert Park. Overall, I'm giving the team a B. Cam Hill gets a C+, and Nick Percat gets a B+. Premier Air Racing started 9th in the team's championship and currently sits in 9th. No improvement there at all. A lot of money for no improvement. Anyway, one of the biggest disparities here between teammates, Tim Slade, 20th in the championship, 40% of the team's points. Slady's having a year to forget, and a lot of people are like, oh, he was on the second row in Taupo, and, you know, he had that brilliant start and then got taken out, and that's one race. He's only had one DNF for the whole year. The rest of it has been really disappointing. He has shown speed in qualifying, but then gone backwards in races. It's been quite a disappointing year. He did say, you know, he's happy to hang up his helmet or whatever if they could have signed someone who wasn't going to be racing for another team. Anyway, this will be Tim's last year of full-time driving. Not that I don't like Tim, but the results just aren't there at the moment. James Golding, on the other hand, 8th in the championship, 60% of the team's points. He got a pole position there in Darwin. He's had 4 top 5 finishes as well. Not quite getting himself on the podium, but he is knocking on the door there. I expect him to at least have a podium before the end of the year, if not breaking through for his maiden win. The team overall, I'm giving them a C. There's a lot of room for improvement there. Timmy Slade, D. Unfortunately, it has been disappointing. And James Golding gets a B. He's definitely been improving, but there is room for improvement there. Team 18 started 8th in the team's championship and now is 7th. They're 14th and 15th in the championship, 50% of the team's points each. That says it all, really. Reynolds came out all guns blazing at Bathurst. 2 top 10s on that first weekend. I was expecting him to, he had such a strong run at the end of the year last year with the Groves. I was expecting, coming out like that with Team 18 at Bathurst. Traditionally, they have not been good at Bathurst, so him coming out like that, I fully expected at the Grand Prix him to start, scoring those regular top 10s, get a win here and there, off he goes. It just hasn't happened. Frosty's actually been the one on the podium with 2 second places, but with them, they're neck and neck in the championship, really. That shows you that it's a team issue rather than a driver issue. Or do they need to clean house on drivers as well? I think it's more team than driver. Anyway, so for that reason, I'm giving the team a D, and the drivers both get a C because, neither one of them is really standing out from each other. Grove Racing started 7th in the team's championship and now they are up to 4th. Matty Payne, 5th in the championship, 57% of the team's points. He is having, this is a strong second year in the category. He's growing with the team, doing great. 2 pole positions, 4 podiums, headlined by that win in Townsville. These guys have been the kings going off strategy and getting results out of it. That shows it's not just a fluke, roll the dice and see what happens. They've been going off strategy and actually getting results out of that every time. He's sitting 5th in the championship now, and he has got the best co-driver coming up for the endurance races. That is not going to hurt his campaign. If anything, he could look at 4th in the championship. I don't think he's going to get into that top 3, but he's a definite threat for 4th in the championship and then next year and beyond kind of thing. Richie, on the other hand, he came out super strong at Bathurst, just missing out on the podium in the first race. And you really thought, okay, this guy, he's just won Bathurst. He's just off the podium the first round of the year. Off he goes, and it's been a bit of a slide during the year. I do wonder if he was treated like a rookie and he had the extra test days that the rookies get. Matt Payne does get more testing than what Richie Stanaway does. And, he was a full-time driver last year and Richie wasn't. I totally understand why you dump Richie Stanaway for Kai Allen because, this absolute star of the future as opposed to someone who is still a bit of a question mark. But does Richie really deserve to be dumped yet? Anyway, overall, I'm giving the team a B+. Matt Payne gets a B+. There is still a little bit of room for improvement there, and Richie gets a C. Walkinshaw and Andretti United. These guys started 6th in the team's championship and now currently 3rd. The biggest gap between teammates in the field. It is hard to believe that last year the points in the team finished 65% to Chaz Mostert, 35% to Nick Percat. Currently, Chaz Mostert has 65% of the team points and Woody has 35% of the team's points. It probably doesn't, it is Woody's rookie year and all that. He is learning. Bathurst, he came away with 2 DNFs and 0 points from that. He's been fighting back from that all year. He's currently 17th in the championship, while his teammate, Chaz Mostert, second in the championship. Highlighted, of course, those back-to-back wins there in Sydney. He's had 13 top 10s out of a possible 16 this year, with 12 of those being top 5s. Genuine consistency out of Walkinshaw and Andretti United. The big question now is, can they get on top of that super soft tyre in Tasmania? Because they were totally lost on that tyre in Darwin, and that's where they really dropped the ball. If they can get on top of that in Tasmania, they're going to fight for the championship. Overall, the team gets a B+. Obviously, there is room for improvement. You've got to get 2 cars constantly up the front. Woody gets a B. It is his rookie campaign. He's doing a pretty good job. And Chaz gets an A, doing brilliantly. Dick Johnson Racing. Started 5th in the team's championship, currently 5th in the team's championship. They're 6th and 10th in the championship, which sounds like a big distance, but it's 52% of the points to Will, 48% of the points to Anton De Pasquale. 1 pole and 3 podium positions for the 2 of them for the first half of the year. Those, go back a couple of years, those stats for Scott McLaughlin on 1 weekend, he would have been disappointed in that. These guys have those stats for half of the year. That shows you how far this team has slipped. They have been getting better. They've been creeping at it, but they haven't looked close to getting a win. Obviously, Davison had that pole position, but they haven't looked like they are going to challenge for a win all year. Overall, everyone gets a C+. There's lots of room for improvement. We expect more from Dick Johnson Racing. Tickford Racing started the year 4th in the team's championship. Now they are up to 2nd. Finally, they're firing 2 cars very well. It's for so long with the 4-car team, they've had basically 1 car turn up each weekend. If Cam was having a good weekend, the other 3 would have a bad weekend. If Randall was having a good weekend, it'd be, Now both cars seem to be firing pretty well. Thomas has got himself up to 7th in the championship, 46% of the points, while Cam is 4th in the championship with 54% of the team points. Tom's having some solid results. It's a proper 2-car team now. He's only had 1 podium, but I've got a feeling that first win is not far away, and I think with him, that will then open the floodgates. He seems to lack a bit of confidence in battle where he really goes in for that fight. I think if he can actually get on top and get that win, then all of a sudden the floodgates will open. He'll have that confidence to, go in for those battles and, take positions off people and get more and more wins. Cam Waters, once again, the qualifying king. He's starting from pole 5 times. That's more than anybody else so far this year. Too bad he's only had the 2 wins. He's sitting 4th in the championship. He is, I think he's too far away to challenge for one of the podium positions in the championship, and he probably also has to look back at Matt Payne, who is coming in the championship, and Matt has definitely got a better co-driver for those endurance races, but Cam Waters, doing an exceptional job. I'm really impressed with Cam's work this year. Overall, the team gets a B, Tom gets a B, and Cam gets a B+. Brad Jones Racing. They started 3rd and 11th in the team's championship. Now they are 10th and 11th. Jaime, he is the standout of the 4 cars once again. He took that win in Taupo, but only 4 other top 10 positions for the year so far. It's just, we fully expect this car to consistently be in the top 10. He's 12th overall in the championship. I would have thought, he should be more like 6th or 7th in the championship. The other 3, on the other hand, they're even more disappointing. 19th, 21st and 22nd overall. Jackson Evans, he's a rookie. We can give him, a little bit of the benefit of the doubt at the moment. There has been some flashes of speed, but really out of those three cars, they've only had 2 top 10s in the championship. Just look at the point score with the guys. 32% of the team points have gone to Andre, while the other guys are sitting on 24, 22 and 21%. It's not all driver related, obviously teams there, so that's why overall the team gets a D, Jaime gets a B, and the other three guys, I'm going to give them a C. Triple Eight started second in the team's championship. Now they're first. Now they're 800 points ahead of the nearest competitor. They've basically already wrapped up the team's championship. Drivers, on the other hand, there could be a little bit of a fight happening there. They're only sitting first and third in the Drivers' Championship, only. A near perfect start for the year for them, really, though. They've taken 50% of the wins. They've only been outside of the top 10 3 times so far this year. There's been a possible 32 top 10 positions. They've been in the top 10 29 times. The biggest blip for them is, of course, that Chaz has overtaken Brock Feeney in the championship. The question at the start of the year was, will Will actually be able to come into Brock Feeney's team and challenge him? He's done that. He's just done brilliantly. Even his qualifying, could be improved, but he's raced forward many times. He's done that kind of Shane Van Gisbergen, where it doesn't matter even if he qualifies kind of 8th, he'll drive through to the podium anyway. He's still picking up results. It shows in the overall results. Will Brown has 52% of the team points, while Brock only has 48%. It still is very close. Overall, I'm going to give the team a B+, because they have been a little bit up and down, and it hasn't always been a total 2-car attack. Although they've had a lot of top 10 positions, Brock Feeney has been in the back half of that top 10 a lot of the time. Will Brown gets an A for his efforts so far. Brock Feeney gets a B+ because he's had more wins, but there is room for improvement. He could be a little bit more consistently fighting at the front there. And finally, Erebus started leading the team's championship. Obviously, the winners from last year had that number 1 grid spot. Now they are down in 8th position. Jack LeBrock, 54% of the points, 11th in the championship. Coming into the year, or when he signed for Erebus last year, I fully expected without a doubt, he'll be in the top 10 of the championship. But I was also expecting Brodie to be fighting for the championship. If we add Brodie and Todd Hazelwood's points together, they would still only be 18th in the championship between Woody and Courtney. I think that says it all, what's happening with that second car, whether, someone's turning up and not trying, or has the team just fallen from grace. If there hadn't been all that upheaval in the off-season, whatever happened, just imagine that, Brodie had a normal off-season. We still had Coca-Cola, Shaw and Partners, everything still on the car. It looked like, last year's cars with number 1 on the side. And would Brodie still be challenging for the championship? I think he probably would. So this is even sadder where we're at, that, Brodie... he's come back and he's not really in the fight. Just disappointing kind of overall. Obviously, Jack LeBrock getting that pole position there in Townsville, a little bit of a high point. He has been racing pretty well considering. I'm going to give the team a D. It's just been super disappointing. Jack LeBrock, B. He's been pretty good. Brodie Kostecki, a D, because I still expected him to come back in and, at least be fighting for wins each time. But it is what it is. Todd Hazelwood, I'm going to give him a B+, because without a lot of preparation, he came in and actually did a really solid job. It took Brodie, I think, 4 rounds to beat the points that Todd got in 2. So yeah, Todd actually, I'm now looking back, I'm quite impressed with what he did over those 2 rounds. So that's my mid-season report card. Down in the comments, let me know what you think. Obviously, as I said at the start, I'm trying to be a little bit harsher earlier on in the year. So, you know, the teams and drivers can watch this and go, yeah, okay, we do need to pull up our socks and improve in the second half of the year. Because, of course, all of them are watching this and paying attention, and they all care what I say. So anyway, down in the comments, let me know what you think, and also let me know who's been your biggest surprise this year and who's been the biggest disappointment. Probably for me, the biggest disappointment I think is the whole Erebus Brody thing, but the biggest surprise I suppose has probably been just how well Nick Percat's been doing at Matt Stone Racing. I expected some flashes. They've actually been really consistent. They're doing a really good job, even better than what I was expecting. But anyway, until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.